I am so grateful to be here. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Kendra, and the editorial staff of Passenger for embracing my presence and my contribution to this extraordinary sacred space that is this publication. Um, when I first talked with Christine and Kendra, just getting some idea about the publication and its thematic focus of generational trauma. The one thing I kept hearing and I kept seeing were circles and circles and circles. And those conversations and those circles stayed with me through what I identify as a generational trauma of being the mother of a child with mental illness, who's now a grown man with mental illness. And in the midst of one of hmm, his worst, and yet I guess it's ultimately best because it's leading him to a new healing place, and having to walk through that with him and not being able to reach my hands inside of him and just heal it and fix it. Um, and that trauma of just when everything falls apart in that crisis, right? And so these circles, I had to leave my home in the moment, my husband and I, because um, he just got really upset and we were afraid for our lives. And I can say that here because I know this is a sacred space that you've created to say that. And in the midst of staying with a friend, and we just kind of left the house, and all I did was pack up my few art things and something to write with. And those circles kept coming back to me. And so one day, I just had some vellum paper and I just started cutting out circles. And they weren't perfect circles, they weren't perfectly round, smooth. And so I had a little candle with me and that I brought with me. You know, and I started to try to smooth the circles out around the edges, but they quickly caught on fire. So it was like trying to get blowing them out, these little circles. And after a while, I had all of these singed circles on the table, my friend's table, and it just came to me. Well, we're all a little burnt around the edges from life's traumas and pain. And so I ceased to try to pretty up the circles and fix the circles and fix it and just leaned into it and just started arranging them on the paper. And I realized teardrops, teardrops. And I had bought some time ago little teardrops for something entirely different, but I realized, ah, I need the teardrops. And so the next day, my husband, bless him, he'll just go. So we got to go. And we were in DC and find some place that sells teardrops. And we found them. And I got some copper wire while I was getting there. Something said, get copper because copper is an energy conductor. And so I got the copper and I started braiding this copper together, these wires together, and then stringing these little crystal teardrops, these strands and putting it all around. And then a circle came back. This circle with so much energy because copper is an energy conductor that holds so much energy and holds our teardrops as well as the singed part of us, the parts of us that hold and carry the grief and the pain and the trauma still, the part of us that's still evolving in those stories and healing those stories. And that's how it all came together. And I thought, yeah, we're all a little singed around the edges from life's traumas and pain, healed by the collective tears, our collective tears of radiant light. And I thought about radiant light of all places and these teardrops because of Rawlings, Harry Potter, book 7, and the film, right? And without giving it away for those of you who haven't seen it or read the book, There's one character that leaves his teardrops to Harry Potter as a gift. And in those teardrops, there are all of these memories and this pain and this trauma. But it's somehow in Harry recognizing these teardrops, it heals him. It gives him the power to forgive and to recognize and to acknowledge that circle, you know, that circle of loving and hating and crying and being joyful in all of it. And so I thought about that. Yeah, our teardrops are filled with light and story and energy and DNA.